All right, appreciate you guys all being here and covering us as always. Obviously, very happy with the result on Saturday. I thought our guys played hard, played the game the right way, didn't beat ourselves, not a lot of penalties, looked like good, clean football for the most part, and I was happy to see those guys walk away with a win. Happy for a lot of our young players. They had a chance. I think 36 players had a chance to play for the first time. I think that brings us to 89 true freshmen and redshirt freshmen over the last 3 years that have gotten into a game. So it's been a youth movement, and it's fun to see that continue this year. A lot of respect for Stephen F. Austin and Coach Carthel. I thought their guys battled till the end, and I certainly left there saying to him that I knew that he'll have that team back in playoff contention in no time. A lot of respect for them. Excited this week to turn our attention to UTSA. Frank Wilson is a tremendous coach, and his teams play with a great edge. They play the game the right way. They're physical. They're hard-nosed. They're tough. Both games the last 2 years obviously have come down to the very end of the game, so we're preparing ourselves for a four-quarter battle versus an outstanding opponent. On Saturday, they had a great win over Incarnate Word, and Frank Harris was jumped off the screen. And so having the chance to see the TV copy and now watching the game film, he's a special, special player. And our guys that are from that area were after the game were already talking about him before they'd even seen him play. They knew him from high school, and have a lot of respect for what he put on tape, both as a passer and as a runner, over 300 yards of total offense. And you can see that he makes it their offense certainly go. Defensively, they're a hard-nosed physical defense, play 12 defensive linemen, play man coverage, will blitz you, and so we'll have to be right on all cylinders to be able to handle all the things that they're bringing. So excited to get back to work. It was good to get in there last night and work with the guys. They'll take today off, and then we'll get back to work tomorrow morning, preparing for this game. So with that, I'll see what questions you guys have.
Talk about it. This is the third straight year that y'all play UTSA. Do you feel like this is a team you know fairly well?
Yeah, well, they've had some changes. It's been a different offensive coordinator this year than it was last year, and I know Jeff Castle. He's a really good coach. He was their passing game coordinator last year. Defensively, Coach Golding was a DC 2 years ago, and when he moved on, but they've kept the same things, and they do a tremendous job defensively. I mean, they are hard to move the football against, and they give you tough looks, and they're just really good up front. They got big physical players that play really, really hard. And you watch defense right now across the country, not everyone plays hard, and they play hard, and so that brings a lot of challenges to you. So. At the end of the day, their ethos, I think we know that. We know that they're a tough, rugged group that can run, that's going to play hard, that's going to swarm to the ball, that's going to challenge you with the run game. And then they've added in perimeter screens now, and they'll throw the ball deep. And Tyreek Woolen is a big play threat for them. We recruited him. He's got great track times at 6'4", so there's a lot of things to have to deal with.
Talked about it a little bit on Saturday, but a lot of coaches talk about the big jump coming from week 1 to week 2. Why is that?
Well, week 1, you're in training camp, you're in practices. You're kind of practicing for 3 hours, 2 hours, however long you practice. So you make a mistake, you drop a ball, you block the wrong guy, you just kind of go right to the next play. And there's not a lot of consequence to that. Then all of a sudden you get into a game and you drop that same ball and you have to go stand on the sideline, or because you have to punt, or you blow a coverage and all of a sudden now it's a touchdown and it affects the scoreboard. And so the ability to handle those emotions is way different. You don't get to just go right back out there. You have to stand on the sideline. You have to, in the middle of a game, deal with the crowd, deal with the all the different things. And so it's just different. And so you have to get out there and see, how do you manage the game itself? Are you able to stay focused on each play, or do you let your mind wander? Or do you have a veteran group that answers a score with a score, answers a stop with a stop, or do you have guys that are just kind of floating through the game? And so it's just all of that. And then you have a chance to go out there against someone who's really game planned you, and they find holes in what you do. And those mistakes you made, and we showed a whole tape yesterday, the mistakes we made in this game and the good things we did in this game, all you saw in practice. Like R.J. Sneed making those catches, that's not a surprise to anybody, because he makes them day in and day out. And so you hope that this week guys come back and there's really deliberate practice, that they're saying to themselves, I overran the ball too much, or I reached too much, or I didn't move my feet on contact on the offensive line. And guys go to practice not wanting to put that on tape 2 weeks in a row. And so what I like about our football team is that they're very mature in that regard. there's the guys out there that are saying, I got text messages from guys on Saturday night that start for us that were saying, I didn't do this well enough. If you play your first college game, you're supposed to be out celebrating and having fun, and they're saying, hey, I didn't do this right, means they're thinking the right way.
Matt, 2 more kick blocks on Saturday, 11 in the last 26 games. How much of that is, you kind of talked a little bit about it the other night, but just sort of being locked in and ready to make a play no matter what the score is, and how much of it is maybe just technique, that y'all are doing or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly not scheme. I mean, we just sent 3 guys on the punt, and the field goal is just our normal. We have 1 field goal block. We have another one that we do like if we need it, but we have 1 field goal block, and so it really comes down to players, and if you ever notice our field goal block team, when they rush, they never look to see if the ball was made or not. And that's just something we believe in. Like, it doesn't matter if it went through or not. All that matters is our effort and the effort we give. And so anytime you start to have success at something, it starts to take hold, take root. And what was cool about the field goal block, I think it was Gabe Hall, right? He's a true freshman. That's all he knows is, hey, take 5 steps and rise. And he should have had the second one. And so I think it's cultural. It becomes part of the organization where we go to those periods and guys take them really seriously. And, Blake Lynch, here's a senior playing on special teams, and he's, running there to go block the kick because he knows how important it is. And so hopefully we can continue to get those. It's something that we really believe in. We think it can really change a game.
Coach, what areas did you look at and say, this is what we want to improve in this incoming game?
Yeah, I didn't like our rush lanes at times. The quarterback was able to get outside, and that's certainly going to be an issue with Frank Harris this week, who's a dynamic runner, absolutely dynamic runner. So we have to improve in that regard. We left some guys wide open in flats, guys just kind of coming out of coverage, and so they hit a wheel route on us to kind of get the one drive going. They had some guys open, late as they scrambled around, so that has to improve. I did not like our pass protection. Quarterback got hit too many times. Even though we took no sacks, he got hit too many times, and we had to rely too much on perimeter runs. We weren't able to just kind of line it up and run the ball between the tackles, and so there's a lot to improve on in a lot of different little areas. Our punt return game, we should have had 2 big, long, explosive punt returns, and we didn't make the block that mattered. We kind of loafed, to be quite honest, and we're not in a position where we can just give away opportunities for big plays. We've got to take advantage of every opportunity we get. So we'll get those things corrected. Again, when you go back in and you see the film, and you see, man, if I make my block, Grayland's going to take this one about 60 yards. It has more of an effect on you, and then you hope the guys come back this week and they play just a little bit harder when they're not sure if they have to.
Matt, Prince Pines and Blake Bettier made their first starts. How did they hold up, and were you able to roll a lot of guys in the offensive line the way the game went?
I think both those guys early were a little bit sort of, jittery, and then they settled down. They're both really good players. And, Prince is a big man at 340 pounds, and he had a big matchup. The guy he was blocking was bigger than him. And so, he won some, he lost some, but he, to me, got better as the game went on. And so I think he'll enter this week with more confidence. Casey Phillips, we were able to get Casey Phillips in at both right and tackle a lot. To me, he's like a co-starter. He's good enough to start for us. Jason Moore was able to get some reps, and then at the end we were able to get a bunch of guys in on the O-line, just with sort of some of the new rules about playing 4 games. So all those guys that their time has not yet come were able to at least get a little taste of it.
What areas were you most pleased coming out of the game Saturday?
I thought the fact that we didn't give up any home runs on defense, I was really pleased with. I thought we ran to the ball and struck. I thought there was a lot of big hits in the games. I thought Chris Miller was a cannon out there flying around. So I was happy with those things. I thought we did a decent job at times versus the run, and other times we didn't do a very good job with the run. But a lot of things we can correct on. I thought Bravia and Roy played a great game at the nose, and sometimes those things don't show up until you turn the tape on. But I thought he gave great effort. So a lot of areas, and I hate just signaling 1-2 things out, but the kickoff team, obviously the touchbacks, the punt team, we had one bad, but we had a bunch of nice hits. So I think there's a lot of good things. As I tell our team, you didn't play bad, you didn't play well, you just played how you played, right? So just get past all the labels we like to put on how we played. Just you played how you played. Now, whether it's good or bad, who cares what you label it? Just try to do it better next week. And so that's my focus. I want to do a better job next week. I thought our sideline was a disaster at times. We got to do our sideline has to be better. So everything has to be a little bit better this week.
Touch on it right there, but just the mindset and the physicality. You guys look like a team that was ready to hit somebody on Saturday night. How pleased were you with that mindset and going forward?
I was pleased. I thought we practiced hard all week and that they were ready for the game. I think we had 19 guys over 19 miles an hour. We had guys hitting 22 miles an hour, so those are big numbers. So I was pleased with all that, and when our guys now understand that you don't save yourself for the game. You got to get yourself ready on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to have a chance to go out and win the game on Saturday. So I was pleased with our preparation. I think our guys took care of their bodies. Our body weights were good, and we ran fast in the game. Still some things obviously to correct, too many drops, too many, but those things are going to happen in football. When you're physical, at least you have a chance, especially when you play a team like UTSA, who's a very physical team. You better be able to match that, or else you have no chance.
Lovett seemed to have a little better game than Hasty in the running game. Is that because of the personnel that was on the field at the time, or maybe the effort by individual runners?
Yeah, I thought Jermichael ran into some blitzes and kind of got what he could get. Lovett, the offensive line saw the zone pressure coming, made a great check, and great job by Rhule Morgan and Charlie really, and got us in the right play, and so he was able to make one miss. So I think those things. I think we have three great backs. They saw Abram get in there. Abram's a great back. Quaylen's going to be a great back. So I think they're all just going to keep playing. And the key is going to be trying to get the ball around everybody. It's going to be hard to get the ball to everybody. But when guys get the ball, they have to do things with it. And Lovett played really well. Ebner, to me, was dynamic. So, it'll just be a matter of kind of trying to get guys hot this week again.
Newman and Valentine were kind of supposed to be big parts of the offensive line coming into this season, I think, but they didn't play in this game. Is there a reason for that, or do you think?
Yeah, Xavier's available if we need him. We're trying to see if we can hold him and use him for 4 games. With the emergence of Prince Pines, he was right there with me. He's kind of responsible for me now, keeping me, calm during the game. So if we can redshirt X, we're going to try to. We'll take it week by week. We said we'd try to do it the first 2 weeks. He was running with the 2s, and so why use another year up on him? He was such a loyal player to come in and play as a freshman and sophomore, and his best days, I think, are ahead of him. So we're going to see if we can do it. If we can't, he knows he's ready to play, and the same thing with John Carlo. He's running with the 2s, and Casey has had such an ascension that we felt like, maybe we can see if we can save him for 4 games as well. So, no promises on that. We're going to try to, see how this week goes. Both guys practice with the 2s for us. If we need them, we play them, but we're not going to play them in times where we don't need them.
Do you think it's easier for them to accept that mindset after seeing players like Graylin Arnold and hearing them say that the red shirt was one of the best things for them?
Yeah, and to be quite honest, that Xavier, that was him saying to me, "Hey, coach, should I redshirt?" I don't know the answers to these things. I talk to guys like, hey, if you want to consider this, I'll always put the player above. If the player will put the team above himself, then I'll put the player's interest above everything. So Xavier Newman was like, "Coach, what do you think?" And I said, "If we can do it, we should do it." He got hurt last year, and if I could go back, I would have not played him at the end. He thought he was going to come back and be able to play. He played. He got hurt again. So luckily he was able to play in the Tech game and play in the bowl game. But, he's just not a better kid on the team than X. And so I think they all realize the power of redshirting after 2 years. They saw, like, Jalen Hurd do it. They saw Lockhart do it. You have a chance to play and then kind of catch your breath, take a year to really develop your body. Jay Red and Graylin, as you mentioned, the success they're having. And so, X, we're playing him at center now. He can also play at guard. Again, he's ready to go if we need him. But right now, not using him as a 2. And the same thing with John Carlo. He came in last year, really should have redshirted after his junior college career. We just didn't have the luxury. And so he played, did the best he could for us, got better as the year went on. But I think if he is able to redshirt this year, could have a monster year next year. So we'll continue to try to do that. And, we want to have a great season. We're never going to sacrifice this season, but we also want to build for the future as well.
So you're saying these guys were expected to almost be starters. So this is not a disappointment that they're not. You say they're ready, but they're going to redshirt.
Yeah, they're not the starters right now. So I would never redshirt a starter, but they are running with the 2s. So John Carlo was hurt for some of camp, so I think that maybe hurt him a little bit. But X is there if we need him. But I think for him it's he can play 4 games. Ty Smith is a great backup center for us that can go in and help us in the games. Khalil Keith is coming on, so we have a lot of depth. We feel like so. If they're disappointed or not, I don't know. But they, all these are their choices. These are never my choices. I don't say, "Hey, you're redshirting." It's just not my style, not my way. I say, "Hey, is there something you want to do?" And they say, "Yeah, Coach, let's take a look at it." So again, it's week by week. There might be other guys that do it after we go through a couple weeks, and so we have no idea what the future will bring, right? You get through the game, and all of a sudden a couple guys go down, and you're a starter. So their job is to prepare each week as if they're going to be the starter at all positions, every guy on the team, and then we see what happens.
Could you see many differences in Charlie, the way he handled things? Another year older.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he handled protections well. They gave us a bare front, and then he recognized the might coming. We Big Dooley got the ball out of his hand for a big 4th and 6 conversion. I thought you saw him. Both those touchdowns to RJ, he checked to get us to. So the touchdown by Lovett, as I said earlier, he checked versus the blitz. So I thought his ability now to really play like a pro, like to see what's happening and get us in the right play versus those pressures, to me, is the big difference with him right now.
You guys scored 45 and 56 in the last 2 games out. Is this the offense that you kind of envisioned when you got here? This is what you want it to look like?
I mean, I want to score. This is not me being smart. I want to score more points than the other team. And so what I want to do is I want to have the ability, and then this is Jeff and Glenn and those guys creating it, right? But I want 2 things from our offense. Really a couple things. I want us to be an offense that doesn't beat ourselves. I want us to be an offense that utilizes our good players. I don't want our good players, not touching the football because of scheme. I want them to. It's always going to be about the players for us. And then I want to have the ability to when we have the lead, run the football. That's why I kind of joked after the game that we got out of there in 3 hours and 15 minutes. I don't want to play 5-hour games when we have the lead. If we don't have the lead, I want to play for 5 hours. I want to keep it going. The Vanderbilt game, we had to win one way. But, we led the Big 12 in time of possession last year and still scored some points. And so, for me, we got up last, Saturday night, ran the football, and when we did throw it, we kind of threw it on the perimeter, protected the lead. Unfortunately fumbled once and gave them the ball back. But, that's kind of what I want to be. So if it means we have to get in 2 backs and run the ball to win a game, I want to do that. I really believe in real football and good football when you're facing good teams. You never know how you're going to have to win that game. You can go out and just kind of do your thing against teams you're better than. But when you play really good teams, you might have to run the quarterback 40 times. You might have to throw it 40 times. You might have to, you never know what it's going to take to win that game. So I just want to make sure we have enough in what we do where we can handle those situations. And so I went 2 minutes before the half. I wanted to, and we failed in that. We didn't move the ball in 2 minutes. We tried to give ourselves some situations in that game to see how we were going to respond. And some we did well, some we didn't. But we'll just keep trying to be a team that no matter what the situation, we have an answer.
So how do you evaluate the team ability to maintain concentration for all 4 quarters now?
Say that one more time. I'm so
How do you
sorry.
evaluate the team's ability to maintain their concentration through the whole game and not have mental lapses?
Well, I thought we had a little bit of a lull in the second quarter. I thought, at the end of the game, we were still pretty. You hate that we gave up, 10 points in the fourth quarter, whatever, 7 points. But that was more important to get the young guys in, and they had a play or two, which we have to learn from. The standard doesn't change based upon who's in the game. I think it's one of the reasons why we were on the field so long for practice. We try to get out there for walkthroughs and stuff and use. We're always over 2 hours, 2 to 2. Not in season, maybe then Thursday, Friday, but preseason. Teaching young people how to focus for a long time. I think the biggest thing is, as I said, is a game it's not 3 hours straight. It's you're out there and then you sit for 10 minutes, 12 minutes. And so I thought it was good. I challenged the coaches to continue to coach. I think it was a 35-7 at halftime. I found all the things at halftime I wasn't happy about. I challenged them to coach as if we were losing by 21. Same thing yesterday. Because here's what I know. There were some teams in our league that had some close calls. Now, the Big 12 was 10-0 this week, yes? So, which is great. But there were some teams that had some close calls, and I bet you they walked in after that game, and the team was like, hey, we got to get better. And on Sunday they said, hey, and they'll get better as a result. We got better last year, not when we won. We got better when we lost. When we lost games, our team said, hey, we got to fix this. And so that's the way we all are, right? And so my challenge to us is we got to get better at things even though we won the game. And I feel like I felt that so far. Guys are trying to do that. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, though.
Matt, so you guys track miles per hour?
Yeah.
Like with a radar gun? Or
No, they wear these catapult units. Probably most of college football does it now, And they calculate how much of a load players, how much they ran, how many high velocity yards they ran, and they count how fast they got. So like Tyquan Thornton, Tyquan or Mark Bilton hit like 23 in preseason, which is really, 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 really fast. And so to get 22 in a game, because you don't have any chances really to open up and run for a long distance. It has to happen on kickoff. So to have that many guys hit that number means that we were running on Saturday. So it's a great way for me to say, hey, how fast are we really running? Sometimes there's been guys who I think loaf because of the way they run, and then they run really fast on the GPS. So it kind of helps you in those regards.
Can you explain the significance of the stickers on the back of the helmets, just kind of what those are?
Yeah, we thought, we said to our guys, hey, we're going to start a little, sort of a little bit of a new tradition and give them some stickers for individual achievements, So on the left side, we kind of put things from guys who made elite this summer, 4 or 5 times out of 7. We did it for guys who had a 3.0 in the spring or summer, or personal best. We did it for guys who made all the practices of the preseason. We put a graduate cap on for the 10 guys, or for the 15 guys who've graduated. On the right-hand side, sort of, ran for 200 yards. We'll give them a helmet sticker. We no sacks. If you get a sack, you get a turnover, and then down the middle, sort of the ones in game. So if you hit a explosive home run, we'll give you one. If you block a kick, we'll give you one, and if you take the ball away, we'll give you one in game. So, as I told the team, I'm a Penn State guy originally, right? I'm no names on the jerseys and nothing on the helmet, but I do know that what gets measured and rewarded gets done, and so we'll do those things. And to me, it's still an homage to old school college football. Helmet stickers have been around for a long time, so we'll do it. And the kids seem pretty excited about it. I have more swagger than they realize, so we're going to give it a shot, and it seemed like they liked it, so we'll continue to do it.
Charlie missed Denzel on the long deep ball, but was SFA kind of defending against the long pass? Because I think the longest pass play was like 23 yards.
Yeah, they were playing man-to-man coverage. We threw a couple. We threw one to Taekwon on the left side. They defended. We threw one to Mims down the left side. They defended, and then we threw that one where we got behind them. But at the end of the day, I think we were able to stay pretty much in rhythm. Kind of some of our underneath stuff hit, and so. But we would like to be a deep play team. There's some things we had dialed up that kind of when the score got away, just didn't feel right to throw those then. And we got Charlie out and got Gary in there, but probably have to hit a couple more deep balls to keep people honest, especially if they're going to come out and play man coverage against us. Denzel's Taekwon are so fast. Marcus is so fast. Platt, we have to push the ball down the field.